Okay, good. This is Notes for Google Documents Chapter 2. Hopefully you're doing this stuff at home so that when you get in class you can just breeze through these exercises. And ideally this gives you a better notes as well, because you're not trying to copy down what I'm saying, you're able to see it visually. So the first question deals with the tips for formatting a document. Okay, my first tip to you is always zoom out so you can see the entire document as you're formatting it. Okay, so in Google Docs, we'll talk about how to do that in a minute, because it's a little bit different than, you don't have a zoom control like you did in Word. 2, make sure we're using a readable font and a text color contrasts with its background. Just as an example, we don't want to choose something that's too difficult to read. Look, even in Google we don't have anything that's too difficult to read. That's kind of nice. In Word you had so many options. Here these are all readable, so it's not going to be too difficult. But then also make sure you're choosing a text color that contrasts with its background. You don't want something so light that it's hard to read. Notice on this white background how it's hard to read this light blue. So make sure it stands out. It's something that really is easy for the reader to read, so they don't have to try to decipher what's on this page there. Okay? And then lastly, make sure we're consistent with our formatting. Okay? The reader needs structure so that they can easily glance through a document. So make sure we use, if we're going to choose a heading style, we use that heading style for all of the documents. If we're going to choose different formats, that we use it consistently throughout the document. So those are the 3 tips. Zoom out so you can see most of the document. Then you've got to make sure you choose a readable font and you have text colors that contrast with its background, and then also you have consistent formatting throughout the document. So that's number 1. Number 2, how do you control the level of zoom? So go back here. So we want to zoom out so that we can see most of the document we're formatting. So we're going to hold down the control key and use the scroll wheel on the mouse to zoom out. That was out, pulling down is out, pushing up on the scroll wheel zooms in. So depending on what you're trying to do, but for our purposes right now we're going to zoom out. Okay? And that was a hold down control key and use the scroll wheel on the mouse. Number 3, where is the Styles menu located? Okay, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see a little better. There we go. Right here. This is where the Styles menu. Styles menu deals with different heading levels and titles. So whatever you choose to use, make sure you use consistently throughout the document. This is the title, so you would apply a title. Okay, but this is the Styles menu. It's right here, to the right of the Format Painter or to the left of the font style. So number 4. What does the line spacing do and where is it located? Well, to help you space things out in the document, to help the reader kind of read through here, we'll change the line spacing in some of these things. So line spacing tool is right here. It's to the right of the alignment tools and to the left of the numbered lists. You can see we only have a few options here. Double space, a space and a half, or 1/15. Just to kind of see a difference here, we can highlight these 3. Go to the line spacing tool, see that it's kind of custom right now. We can single space it so we can see how that looks. Or we can go to double space so we can see how that looks. The amount of space between the lines. Okay. Number 5, what do the indentation buttons control? So right now everything's lined up on the left margin right here, the entire document. Let me zoom out a little bit so you can see? And we can use the indentation tools to change that to help the reader again. They're over here on the right hand side of the toolbar. Remember, this is the toolbar and this is the menu bar. The right hand side of the toolbar, the decrease and increase indent buttons. So we click that so that we can increase the indent, and we can move that over, just to kind of help the reader differentiate levels of importance on the document. Headings would be, further left, and less important, you'd move it into the right. Number 6, how would you highlight text in a Google Doc? So first thing we're going to do is we're going to highlight some text. We'll just use this as an example. And then we're going to go to the text color tool and then click on highlight here. That allows us to highlight whatever we want right there with that tool on the text color button. Okay, the text color highlight. So number 7, where is the clear formatting button located? Well, we've added a little bit of formatting here. We can add a little more just to kind of help you see what's happening here. Okay, over here on the right hand side is the clear formatting button. Press that button there, and it changes all the formats. Takes anything out that we've applied. This is a heading style, so that doesn't work, but the other things it did. It's also here, format, clear formatting. You see that it's a control backslash. Number 8, how do you change font type, size, and color? So we can select some text here. So font type is right here. You can see there's only about a dozen, maybe 15 or 18 different choices. Okay. Remember, that's a little hard to read, so we may not want to choose that. There we go. Font size and font color right here. Now it defaults to font color, so if we choose something, I don't know. Oh, it's still on highlight. Look at that. There we go. Now it's on. It defaults to font color there. Oh, we got to take that highlight out, huh? None. There we go. Okay. And then number 9. What are the shortcut keys for bold, italics, and underline? And where are they located on the toolbar? Well, here they are on the toolbar. Bold, italics, and underline, right next to font color or text color. We know what they do. They're also here on the format button, bold, and you can see Control B, Control I, Control U, all the same shortcut keys. Okay? Number 10, what are the shortcut keys to align something to the left, right, or center, and where are they on the toolbar? Well, here they are on the toolbar. Left align, see, Control Shift L. Right align, center align, Control Shift E. Right align, Control Shift R. And justify alignment, Control Shift J. Okay? Number 10. So number 11. Well, number 11 turned out to be a duplicate, so I don't want to change that on your copies because I've already recorded some of this, so we're just going to skip number 11. Number 12, how do you use the Format Painter and what does it do? Well, the Format Painter copies the format. Notice that I've made this a different size and different color, and if I want to copy just the size and color, the formatting that I've done, I can use the Format Painter here. If I click it once, I can use it once. If I double click on it, I can use it. Let me zoom out a little bit. I can use it repeatedly. And if I've turned it on, if I've double clicked it by turning it on, I just have to click it again to turn it off. So that's where it copies formats, and it's right here on the toolbar, the roller, paint roller. Okay, let me take some of this stuff out. Nah, I'll leave it on. So how could you put a border around a paragraph, and how would you shade that border? Okay, so I would just place the cursor where I want the border, wherever that may be. And for these purposes here, if we want to put in a border, we're going to have to make a table. So we're going to go to Table on the toolbar, Insert Table, one by one. We're going to drag what we want to put in that table. There we go. Move some stuff around a little bit. There we go. So this is important. So we want to, whoops, I moved up the wrong spot, didn't I? Wonder why that's happening. There we go. Okay, so now we've got a border in here. I'm going to bring that over to the right some, make that a little smaller. Let's say we want to add some depth to this. We just go back to Table and go Format Table. Table Properties, and we can change the table border to something a little thicker. I don't know, 4.5. Change the background color. I don't know, something like teal, and change the page border. I don't know, color, something like that. So you can see we've added some background, we've got a border a little thicker, something to help that stand out a little bit on the page if it was something that was important enough for us to want to stand out. Number 14. What are the two types of lists that can be created in Google Docs, and where are these controls located? So here on the toolbar, on the right-hand side, we have the numbered list, Control-Shift-7, and a bulleted list, Control-Shift-8. Those are the two types. You can see some arrows here, so you can see some different types of formatting as well, and different types of bulleted lists that you can use. Okay, we would highlight the areas that we want to put a list, and click on the button. If we wanted to change that, we would change the down pointing arrow and have something different. Or the numbered list. 1, 2, 3. Maybe we want letters instead. I don't know. We have letters instead. We can also go to Format and format these lists here. Okay. So that is 14. Number 15. How can we change the format? That is 15. We can, this down pointing arrow here to the right of the button will allow you to change the format, or under Format and under Bulleted or Numbered List we can change the format there. And finally, 16. How do you insert a left tab, a center tab, or a right tab? So here, if you want to separate some things and be able to keep things aligned properly without trying to do it by eye, we could click here on the ruler. Notice that we get some options. We can put in a left tab. So if we hit tab on the keyboard, it would bring everything over to that spot. Well, first we have to, So first we have to highlight a line, or maybe two lines that we want to apply the tab stop. Click on them here, add left tab stop. Then when we hit tab on the keyboard, it brings that over, aligned with that. Or if we wanted to add a right tab stop, we could click over here, let's say on the 5, add a right tab stop. Again, this acts as a false right margin. So we bring everything over there, it aligns everything on that border. It's just a way to align everything on that spot on the ruler. Here's the tab stop. You can kind of see, if you run straight down, it runs right along there. Alright? So those are the notes for Word Chapter 2. We'll complete the exercises, and then we'll move on to Word Chapter 3, which will be our last chapter. Google Docs Chapter 3, which will be our last chapter. And then we'll move on to spreadsheets. Hope you got all this down. If you don't, you can always come in and ask some questions. All right.